What's up, guys? Go back to a brand new video, man. Today we have some nice article about 2K24 Q&A on WrestleMania moments, match types, crossplay, and the state of PC version. This is an interview with Lionel Jinx and Brian Williams, so let's get into it. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and we don't roll the 10,000 subscribers, man. We're gonna hit 9,500 subscribers real soon. Let's get into it, man. So this article just came out, so we gotta talk about it. All right. The W2K franchise has spent the last couple of years finding its feet again after the disastrous received 2K20, with last year's 2K23 being quite a solid effort in my estimation. Even if it wasn't quite the cohesive overall package I was hoping for. This year's 2K24 looks to build on that sturdy foundation with a wide array of new features that last year, including a new 2K showcase celebrating WrestleMania's 40th birthday, several new match types, including updates like super finishers and more. You can check out my full hands-on impression here. Alright, so there's quality of life updates, a whole bunch of new stuff. We know about that, alright? As in the past, I was able to sit down with the 2K gameplay producer Brian Williams to discuss the team's vision for this year's game, with longtime series creative director Lionel Jinx also popping in to answer some of my technical questions. We covered a wide area of topics, including what goes into making a big decade spanning WrestleMania showcase mode, new match types like ambulance and gauntlet. This series lacks lack of crossplay to stay of PC optimization, and whether DLSS or FSR will be supported, and more. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in this article. Grab a snack, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. Let's see here. So the 40 years of WrestleMania, it's a lot of stuff to cover. How do you pick which matches and moments that you wanted to focus on? Brian Williams says 40 years of WrestleMania, yes, there's a lot to wade through. I mean, 40 years of WrestleMania, biggest event in WWE history. You know, the one good thing is that because there's so much to pull from, it makes it easy as far as definitely wanting to do this match, but then just having to whittle that down into a manageable number of matches is the other issue. But there were a couple things that went into this selection. One of them was the fact that 10 years ago in 2014, we did 30 years of WrestleMania. So this is like almost a sequel of sorts to one of our previous showcases. That was also sees very well. And so one of the things that I know that showcase designer Dino was very mindful of was not wanting to redo a lot of matches that we did previously, which was good, as having 10 years in between gave us that much more wealth of content. But at the same time, there are just some matches in WrestleMania history that are so iconic that to do a mode without them would be a disservice to the fans and the brand that's WrestleMania. So that's part one. And part two is obviously, are we able to get the rights to the wrestlers? That's another part of this as well. We used to kind of come up with our own list of matches we think would fully encompass and represent the gravitas of this event is to provide enough matches as far as content to make sure that we're giving the fans full meal and not a snack. And I think this year's showcase of Immortals will achieve just that. I'm excited for the fans to get their hands on it. How many matches will be in showcase in total? BD replied, "This is what y'all want to know, how many matches? Here you go. There are 21 matches from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, up to the 2020s, the current day. So we have a wide selection. Every era is represented. I will say one of the cool things about this year's showcase of the Immortals is that there's a lot more female representation, okay, that there was 10 years ago when 2K14 hit the shelves. Very excited and happy about that. In the demo we're showing at this event today, one of the matches that there is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania 39. So that is one of the matches that players will be able to experience in this year's showcase. One of my nitpicks about showcase modes in the past is it wasn't always clear what you need to accomplish the adjustments. This exact right combination of moves, but I feel like this year it was made much more clear. All the buttons you need to press are right up on the screen, which is great news. BD also said, "I'm glad to hear that, Dino. That was something that was very intent on doing. Try to, like you said, really let the players know exactly what needs to be done in order for them to accomplish the thing." And they split the objectives this year. They made it so that you got your main objective, which is tied to trickling cutscenes using that slingshot technology that we like to brag about. Then you also have the sub objective. In past games, if you completed one before the other, you'll lose the ability to complete some other task. You have to redo the match to get all the objectives. This year, completing the main objectives will have no effect on the sub. You can complete them out of order in a way. Okay. Now the big question: when are we getting the Streak showcase? You're referring to this, the Undertaker going through all his wins WrestleMania showcase? Yeah. Yeah, we attempted that way back in 2K14 and became again speaking to his character rights. Quickly apparent that we were not going to be able to get access to all his former victims at WrestleMania. But I definitely love the idea. It'd be great one day moving forward if we get the rights of all of his opponents and do justice to that incredible WrestleMania streak. And yeah, I would love to be a part of that, and I know the fans would love to participate in that and play that. It's kind of the gold standard. BD replied, "That is the thing. One day we'll get there." Last year, when we talked about 2K23, you touched on all the work that went into creating the War Games match. This year's matches maybe we aren't quite as complex as War Games, but what went into the making the say the ambulance or the casket matches. War Games was something that everybody was proud of from 2K23. It was a massive undertaking both from a design standpoint, engineering, and animation, and the response that we got from it was overwhelmingly positive. And it gave the team the necessary boost of confidence to say, wow, although it was one match, the work that went into it was probably the work that of implementing 3 or 4 matches. And with that confidence in our back pocket, the fans have long informed us of their desire to have special guests for free back. And so that was probably the first thing we got into pre-production when 2K24 began. And we said, hey, maybe we could go bigger than that. Let's consider doing an ambulance match. We can do War Games, we can do these two, and then we kept talking and discussing. And oh yeah, casket would be nice as well. And then one of our designers was, hey, I heard rumblings about what they wanted a gauntlet match back. It was like also a couple other matches that we're going to do in addition, which is incredible. So they was planning on doing more matches. So they could have did Iron Survival match, which is probably one of them I Quit match, 3 Stages of Hell, things like that. We ended up doing this for this year, but it's all boosted by the confidence that we had coming out in 2K23. And for me, as someone who's been on the franchise for as long as I have, like the fact that our 4 that we added this year, 2 of the matches types that has been in free franchise previously, special guests for free and Gauntlet, and 2 are matches that are brand new to the franchise, have never been there before. I think that's a very nice compromise. Yeah, it's a nice split. Obviously, we're not above criticism at all, but sometimes we'll be critic. Well, all you're doing is reintroducing something that was in the game previously, and that's maybe true, but at the same time, we're bringing it back with bigger and better than it was before. The fact that all these match types, these ones, are all available in other modes, Universe, MyGM, online, okay? I think that's also is something that just made the effort all that much worthwhile. So all these match types are available in Universe mode, MyGM mode, and online, which is great. Great news. It's not just exhibition play thing. One thing I noticed while playing it is the improvement in facial detail and animation. There used to be pretty wide gap between some of the big names like Radio Orton and some of the low profile stars in the terms of accuracy, but now everyone in the demos that we saw today look more or less right. BD Brian Williams will probably I work with the animation team, but it was Matt Garward who spearheaded that effort, went to great lengths to improve that. So I'm glad you noticed. They basically just refactored the whole rigging system of the face to get proper facial expressions and to eliminate some of the more wonky or somewhat conventional facial expressions that could pop up here and there. So yeah, that's across the board. At cutscenes, interesting end game, facial expressions all got touched up. Okay, you see the blood phases too. Also saw a bit of blood during a couple of matches, and facial bruising was that a conscious effort to ratchet the violence up a bit. BD replied, the blood is something that also got updated. We improved some of the decals of the bleeding of the face, and I'm not sure if you saw it today, but the blood will actually drip on the mat. This is something that we had in older generation of the franchise now. Is another one of those little things that fans have wanted back for several years now. So yeah, the blood will stay on the mat, it will stay in the floor at the ringside, it will smear a little bit. Another new mechanic this year are super finishers, and I noticed that Kevin Owens super is a package power driver, which is a no-no in the WWE. It's that kind of idea with the super finishers, the forbidden moves you wouldn't usually see in WWE. No. I guess in the case of Owens, I set the supers and I try to give as many to the character as possible. We already made sense. And yeah, Kevin Owens does not hit the package driver in WWE, but it was a nod. I assigned it to him and super as a nod to his independent days when that was his primary finish. But you got guys like Radio Orton who has 2. Rady is a good example where he has the RKO, which is daily on its own, but he also has the Avalanche RKO, where he performs off the top rope. He also has the punt, the head he used to do. And I thought he really used that mover now, but when he does, it usually means that person on the receiving end is out for a couple weeks. So I set as high as super also. The way it works, if a character has a super finisher assigned to them, they have a build up stored 3 finishers stock, and then the HUD will start to electrify, and that's when they get access to super, okay, which is pretty cool. You see the escalation in actual wrestling in recent years. More and more finishers have been used and kicked out. So I like the idea of adding some heavier firepower to the game, okay. heavy firepower. It's a long article, but that's fine. We see the escalation in actual wrestling in recent years. More and more finishers being used and kicked out of. So I like the idea of adding some heavier firepower to the game. Alright, so basically that's the whole article, but I will leave the link in the description. I won't make this video too long. But yeah, guys, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here if you gotta take a read for yourself. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys excited for 2K24? Leave a comment, leave a good, bad, hate comment, whatever. Leave a comment in the section down below. I'm excited for the game. Let me know what the version you guys are pre-ordering, deluxe, WrestleMania 4 Years Edition, or standard. Follow the socials in the description. Follow the TikTok, follow the Twitter, all that good stuff. We don't roll to 10,000 subscribers. We're halfway there. I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace.